Hey, Viking fans. Big news yesterday coming out of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Let's talk about it next in 3, 2, 1. Gather around, school brothers and sisters. This is School World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at School World. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit like. I appreciate it. Most of all, put in the comments what you think about what Kwesi Adofo-Mensah said about retaining or trying to retain Kirk Cousins. They had their post press conferences. After the Achilles tendon tear in week 8, the tea leaves were being read. Basically, you could hear O'Connell say, "You know how I feel about Kirk Cousins." You could see Kwesi talking about how he got optimistic because Kirk Cousins says he'd be back by OTAs. And then Justin Jefferson, on a couple occasions, said how much he appreciated, in not so many words, appreciated Kirk Cousins, and not everybody can play quarterback. And um, if he's back, then great, then perfect. So you saw all those things. It makes you think, and I've said this on live shows that there's talk already happening. There's been talk about what the future holds. We want you back. If you don't remember, let me remind you that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah offered Kirk Cousins a contract. It was reported for 2 years, not fully guaranteed, and then but Kirk wanted 3 years. He offered two. Kirk probably wanted it fully guaranteed. We didn't. They didn't come to that conclusion. It was reported that it was going to be at a hometown discount, coming off probably his best year as a quarterback. When you think about the totality of what he accomplished with 13 wins and how he did it, it statistically wasn't his best year, maybe, but it felt like it. So you're thinking, okay, he's willing to take a hometown discount after that year. Well, he starts off leading the league in passing, or second in the league in passing, leading the league in touchdowns. I mean, his best, some of his best seasons, if not his best season in average per pass, is things like that. Touchdowns, he was on pace for break his own record. On pace to close, or if not break his passing yards record. Remember, he had 4950 with the Redskins when he played for them. So there's a lot of good things that are happening right before he tore his Achilles. Now, reports came out that Kirk Cousins said the quote again, that it's not what the money, it's not about, it's what the money represents, meaning, you earn this kind of thing. But he goes on to say that I've been blessed to win, make a lot of money. That is not everything now, and all the insinuations is saying that he's going to take a hometown discount. But what he really might be taking is an injury discount, because he's coming off of injury. So that being said, man, I'm gonna stick with me. I'm gonna talk about the draft and where we are sitting, and I got a graphic for that, but a little more about the relationship. So that makes me think that has been the plan all along. Now I did have this discussion. If you and let's read Kwesi's quote. Yeah, I'm pretty consistent with that. Kirk, the player, is somebody that has saw that we saw what he does to this team. I thought we were playing really good football before he got injured. It's the most important position in sports. It it ultimately always comes down to, can you find an agreement that works for both sides and all those things. But as a player, it's certainly my intention to have him back here. So when you say basically your number one choice, and the reason why it's number one is because the draft is not until April. Free agencies before that. So you need to sign, if you want to sign them, you're not waiting until after the draft. He might not be there, right? He may not be there. So when free agency hits, you want to have that in place. You're also trying to Now, one of the things you're also trying to do is you're trying to go into the draft with as few holes to fill as possible, right? So he's probably thinking, I need Justin Jefferson signed before the draft because I need to know I have my future, and maybe Darisaw extended. He may need all of that in Daniil Hunter all extended. And this is the Rick Spielman way, where he gets his guys, he gets them re-signed right away. He gets his in-house guys, and then he builds from there. And that has him in Kwesi. So what I think there is that he needs to. This is the situation where he's going to do what Rick Spielman did and get his guys before the draft. And he got TJ Hawkinson. He got a couple other players that are pretty good to get signed for long-term contracts. And the free agents he brought in that he signed for long-term contracts. So he's got pieces there. And else he really has to focus on. And Darisaw can wait a year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Because we got Justin Jefferson and then we got Darisaw, if I'm not mistaken. So he can wait a year. So if you're looking at Justin Jefferson, Daniil Hunter, and Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't mind Darisaw too, but we got more money next year. So all that being said, you got a core there that you can bring back into the draft and feel comfortable with. Now, what I am saying is if Kwesi Adofo-Mensah announces that he has the intentions of bringing Kirk Cousins back, that's his preference. That is number one choice of bringing him back rather than leaving him. So you prefer this. Well, you're announcing the world that I want this. If you don't do it, you have failed to bring him back. You can always say we just didn't get it done, but now you just didn't get it done, but don't have a quarterback going into the draft. You got Nick Mullins going into the draft. Now you're sitting at 11, and we'll bring this up. I'm going to bring up my graphic here. Now you're sitting at 11. Hopefully you can read this, and you do not have a starting quarterback in this league. Nick Mullins can play. He throws a lot of picks. This is not a comfortable position for us. I like him as our backup, but now you're going into the draft. And if you want the go-to guy, and everybody seems to think that 1, 2, 3 is going to be the quarterback situation, you want that top 3. Well, trading from 11 to 3 is a tough deal. Not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed of getting your guy. So you're going to want to go into the draft with Kirk Cousins to make it more appealing and make it get more leverage. I don't need a quarterback this year or next because he's not signing a 1-year deal. We don't need a quarterback this year or next. I don't have to give up the farm. I have a little bit I could hold back. Maybe that means not a third number 1 pick, or maybe it doesn't mean a third pick that's a number 2 or a higher pick. Maybe it is just 2 or 3 number 1 picks. Just a little bit of leverage going in means a big deal. You don't have to trade. You don't look desperate. And that's my viewpoint on it. I want to get the future. I definitely want to get the future. Now that being said, you'll be in a weak position going in without a position filled. And you had a chance at Kirk Cousins and you go in there with no quarterback, you have to. Your career depends on it, getting that quarterback. And if any season reminds you of the desperation when we took Christian Ponder at, I believe it was 13, or I think, all these quarterbacks go out not a great quarterback class if I don't remember, if I remember correctly. But we were desperate. We take Christian Ponder. Well, we're sitting at 11. The 3 guys we really want are gone. We may take a guy at 11 that maybe isn't ready, like maybe Penix, right? Maybe we take him at 11 after he just faltered and didn't look good in the national championship game. So I don't want that weak situation where if it comes to 11 or we don't trade up, we don't get our guy, and then we need a quarterback, we got to settle for blah blah blah. I don't want that, and I don't think you have to get Penix at 11. I think you can get him lower. right? So I don't want that desperation going into the draft. I don't want that. I don't think Kwesi wants that. A GM, a coach don't want the desperation going in there. So let's talk about I wanted to do two different videos, but I figured this was a great way to combine this. Is that we got we got the 2024 draft order. We got the Bears at number 1, a trade partner. Are the Bears going to trade us the number 1 pick so we can get our future quarterback, our franchise altering quarterback? I think it's 99.9% no. Now we traded the Packers and the Lions. The Bears are not going to give up the number 1 pick to give us our pick of a deep quarterback draft. That's not going to happen. Now, are they set on Justin Fields? I am 50-50 on this. They may do the exact same thing. They may be like, we're building here. They may trade down and trade back up like they did before. But if they're set on Justin Fields, and it seems like they started to warm up to him at the end of the year, they kept the coach. They kept the coach. I'm like, you would have thought from Bears fans that he was gone. But hey, Justin Fields, they played with them. They look like they're going to move on with them. If anything, that has happened with Kirk Cousins going down, it has instilled confidence in the Packers for going on with Love, and probably the right decision. And Justin Fields, probably maybe a toss up there. So that's not happened. Commanders, Sam Howell. I don't think you give up the option of getting one of these 3 quarterbacks and keep Sam Howell, and not do it and then keep Sam Howell as your quarterback. Now, Bailey Zappi at the Patriots. This is a lock. If anything, I would think the Patriots probably move up to number 1 with the Bears if the Bears decide they want to keep it. The Patriots are drafting a quarterback, 100. And it's kind of crazy. Bill Belichick's leaving. Breaking news this morning: Bill Belichick is out as the head coach, as coach of the Patriots, and they're going to have a new coach, and they're going to draft a franchise altering quarterback, and they very well may trade up. If they imagine this, you're the Bears, you trade down to 3, and you get to keep you get another number 1 pick, and you're at 3, and you can still draft one of the top 3 quarterbacks. Pretty amazing trade for them. Now, if for some reason, like a Marvin Harrison Jr. gets then drafted by the Bears, because they want a top receiver, and they already kind of got one, but that's a big deal, and what a lot of help for Justin Fields. That's pretty amazing pick for them. That leaves us with the Cardinals, who I think they're just stuck with Kyler Murray. That's a lot of money at the quarterback position. I doubt they're drafting a quarterback, right? So they're looking for a trade partner. This makes the most sense for us. 11-4. Now, what does that mean? That probably means 3 first-round picks. I think it does. I think you get up to 4, and then you have to love that 3rd quarterback, because I think 2 are gone by now. So you got to love it. Now, if for some reason it falls, Chargers, easy trade. They don't need a quarterback. Giants say they're moving on from Daniel Jones, but that might be smoke, because they're in a position to go up and get that quarterback too. So they could be a team we're competing with. So we got to give better offer than the Giants, and there's a chance that the Giants are going to be worse than us, so their picks are more valuable. Now then you go into the Titans, Will Levis. I doubt they're looking. You got the Falcons and Desmond Ridder. They're a team that could do it too. That don't expect quarterbacks to drop past the Falcons or for them to trade up. You got the Bears again, So I think the Bears they would do themselves a big service if they drafted a receiver and maybe offensive line, or anybody can use any defensive player out there, best player available. The Bears are going to steal a nice, good player from us, Aaron Rodgers or the Jets might be a situation where they want their heir apparent too. They don't have him. Aaron Rodgers got only one more year on his contract. But I think the Jets are all in. They have to be. They have to be all in. So they're not going to do the same thing the Packers did and say, "Hey, we're not going to draft a first round receiver. We're going to draft a quarterback to replace you." I don't think the Jets are going to do that to Aaron Rodgers. So you're not going to see them draft a quarterback here. They're probably going to take the best lineman available, or something to that effect, something to help Aaron Rodgers. And it depends on who's available. I haven't looked at the draft enough yet to tell you that, hey, there is going to be an outstanding lineman available for the Jets to take. Then there's us. And here we are. And the three best quarterbacks are taken, and the other dudes are not at the level of the 11th pick overall. What can we do? Well, let's look behind us. We got the Broncos with Russell Wilson. They're moving on from him, most likely. So we're going to compete against them trading up to get a quarterback. So we're competing against them. We're competing against the Falcons. We're competing possibly against, I said the Jets aren't, but we're competing maybe against the Giants. So moving up. There's a lot of people. So Russell Wilson out, going to be most likely cut, free agent, whatever. And maybe one of these teams ahead of us actually goes out and gets Russell Wilson. Maybe in Atlanta gets a Russell Wilson, or I doubt the Giants. They got too much money, but that's a place where he could go. Maybe maybe the Patriots. Who knows? They like to do crazy things. Commanders, same deal. They might do it. Who knows? Free agencies before the draft. So our hope is one of these teams ahead of us goes and gets Russell Wilson. Aiden O'Connell, the Raiders, we're competing against them to go get a quarterback. So we can't, things like that. And the Raiders might move up, trade back. Raiders move up, take a Penix. Who knows? Maybe they think there's going to be a quarterback run. They go up and get them. So our quarterback may not be in the first round because of all this competition to move up. And I'm just saying that it's probably a fact. Saints, Derek Carr. I don't think they're gonna do a big free agent and then go and get a quarterback. Colts, Anthony Richardson, Geno Smith of the Seahawks. Very possible. Might be competition for a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars, played like ass last half of the season. Not going after quarterback. Bengals, Joe Burrow, even though his injury problems, obviously, they're not going after quarterback. So just looking back through it, Bears could do it. Commanders could do it. Patriots definitely doing it. Cardinals, they're just in a bad shot. Chargers aren't doing it. Giants have said they, committed to Daniel Jones. Still a possibility, though. Titans, I don't think that after drafting Levis that they're going to do it. They saw probably enough in him. Desmond Ridder, Falcons, there is a good shot that they go after a quarterback. New head coach wants his guy. That might happen. Bears again. Aaron Rodgers, Jets, don't think they'll do that to him. Then there's us. Broncos, Russell Wilson out. Yes, they need a quarterback. Raiders, same deal. Derek Carr, Saints, don't think they're going to go that route because of the free agent money they gave him. Anthony Richardson, obviously not. Geno Smith, Seahawks, 50-50 on that. Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, nope. Bengals, nope. There is a decent situation here for us, and it depends on where Russell Wilson goes. So a lot of good things as far as mobility in the draft, I believe. At the 11th spot, wouldn't obviously I wish we were number one, but I don't want to lose every game of the season. But hey, we're in an okay position, not too bad. We have holes to fill in the defense. There's talk that, hey, maybe we can draft best defensive player available, even trade down a couple spots, get our defensive guy, add a third round pick. Those are smart moves. We got a lot of holes to fill on this team because a lot of free agents. That's another video, I'm sure. Then you go get a JJ McCarthy. or who knows, Penix falls because of the injury history and how unfortunately he was hurt and faltered in the playoff game. But hey, there's an opportunity here. I love this offseason. This is going to be exciting. Kwesi talks about it being a big offseason, no doubt. If you lasted this long, make sure you hit a comment below. I'm giving away a Justin Jefferson jersey. If you comment below, you're entered to win. You enter to win a ticket to win a Justin Jefferson jersey. I'm still doing this. Make sure you comment. Tell me what you think, what the Vikings will do in the draft. Skull Vikings. Cue the music.